Hello everyone, what's up? It's me Mystical Fire back again with another video, and before I begin with this video I'd like to thank you guys for giving me 50 subscribers. So I know it's not a big deal because like 50 is just a small number, but honestly it means a lot to me because it's a small milestone for me and I'm aiming for 100, 500, 1000 subscribers and so on. So thanks a lot again guys for watching my videos and thanks for subscribing. So today in this video we're going to be learning how we can add or create an energy ball between our hands. So I have a sample right here, so in the end the results gonna pretty much more or less look something like this. So let's start by creating a ball of light or the energy ball. It depends upon you how you say it. So let's go to file, new, and then create a new layer 1000 by 1000 pixels, right? So now just fit the screen, and then I'm just gonna color it like a really gray color or a shade of black just for a background. I'm just gonna remove it later. So next I'm gonna create a new layer, and then I will take the brush tool and then increase the size, to around this much perhaps 172, and then I'm gonna increase the hardness to around 50%, and then take white and then just color it. So this will be the core of our ball of light. Let's just decrease the size a bit. I mean it's too big. So this will be the core of our energy ball. Let's just name it core, and then I'm gonna right click the core layer and then click blending options and then click outer glow. So let's just take blue. Let's create a blue colored energy ball, perhaps right around there, and then increase the opacity. Let's increase the size a bit, and then we're gonna decrease the range a bit so that it looks something like this. Yep. To be to be honest, it looks pretty good already, right? But we can't stop here. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my brush tool once again, and then this time I will decrease the hardness to 0 and take size around 20 and just randomly make some dots. Let's create a new layer at first. Create a new layer and then just randomly make some dots right around here, 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 and then I'm going to decrease the size and create more dots, and then again increase the size around 27, and then just create a few dots all over the place. So let's just repeat this, continue to do this. Okay, I just made a lot more dots. So what I'm going to do is decrease the size a bit, because like if they're too big it does not look so nice. Yep, there we go. And then the next step I'm going to do is take the pen tool, and then what I'm gonna do is just randomly make some curves and lines. So you don't really have to think of a certain shape, just do what as I do. So I'm just gonna make a curve type of structure, just randomly making a few lines. So I just randomly created a few lines. Next we're gonna take the brush tool and then decrease the size to perhaps 3, or let's just take the size of 2. It's a bit small but it does not really matter. So what I'm gonna do is take the pen tool, right click the pad, and then click stroke pad, and of course we got to create a new layer first, and then right click it, stroke it. Let's take the tool brush and then press OK, and then delete the pad. So it looks something like this. And now I'm going to decrease the size of this. Yep, something like that. So now it looks some kind of volatile energy coming out of the ball of light. So let's go to blending options and give it a glow. Yep, perhaps decrease the opacity a bit. Size should be perfect. Alright, so let's just adjust the area, and then once again I'm gonna take the pen tool, and this time the curves I will be making will be a bit bigger. Okay, so like before, let's create a new layer and then right click the pad, click stroke pad, and then press OK, and then delete the pad, of course. So yeah, it looks something like this. I'm gonna decrease the size a bit. Alright, and then go to the layer, blending options, and increase, give it an outer glow. So let's decrease the opacity a bit like we did before. And now I'm going to go to my core layer once again, and then right click the core layer and click rasterize layer. So what it's gonna do is like merge the outer glow and the core as a single layer. So let's right click it again, click blending options, and then click outer glow again and increase the size. Let's take blue like we did before. Right there. So increase the opacity and perhaps give it a bit of decrease the range a bit. Yep, make sure it covers the spiral lines. So that is what I'm trying to do right here. Okay, so it looks pretty good by now. I think I should perhaps decrease the size of the spirals a bit. So now I'm gonna duplicate the layer of these bigger spirals. I don't really know how to say it. Let's just say the curved lines. Let's duplicate the layer of the curved lines by pressing Ctrl plus Alternate plus T, or you can also use Ctrl plus J, but for now I'm just gonna use Ctrl plus Alternate plus T, and then perhaps rotate it a bit, and of course decrease the size a bit. So I'm gonna decrease its opacity to like 45%. Okay, it looks pretty good. So now let's add a final layer of the pen tool to it by creating a new layer and just once again randomly creating some curved lines. And like I said, you don't really have to be good at the pen tool to use at this step, of course. Okay, so for one last time, let's take the pen tool, but now I'm gonna decrease the size of the brush to 1. So what I'm gonna do is take the pen tool again, right click it, and of course create a new layer. Was it? Yeah, I think we did create a new layer, right? Yep, we did. So right click it, stroke pad. Okay, so let's delete the pad. Yep, looks pretty good. Decrease the size a bit, and then I'm gonna decrease the opacity of it as well. I'm gonna right click it and then click blending options and add a bit of a glow to it. Like I will decrease the opacity a bit, like I've always did. Perhaps right there, let's decrease its opacity a bit more perhaps. Yep, it looks pretty good by now. So this video is pretty basic, so I'm just gonna stop it right there, and now let's move on to adding this ball of light to your hands. So I'm gonna remove the background layer by clicking this eye right here. It does not necessarily remove it, it just makes it not visible. So giving it this way, I'm just gonna save it as a file, and of course don't forget to save it as a PNG file, because if you like want your energy ball to be transparent, then you gotta use PNG format. So let's just name it ball of light. I already made like few ball of lights before, so let's name it ball of light 2. So I have a bad naming sense, like I said before. Let's open ball of light 2. Where was it? Alright, I got it. So let's copy this and go to our picture. So so yeah, let's just place the ball of light where it should be, or perhaps increase the size a bit. Yep, let's adjust to where we want it, and then let's go to our background layer. I'm just gonna name it base. I have a bad naming sense. So let's go to our base layer and then press Ctrl plus L, which will load up the levels. So let's just adjust the levels a bit, make the picture a bit darker this way, decrease the output levels a bit. We really want that like dark view to our picture, so like the brightness of the energy ball like comes up even more, and then press OK. So it looks a bit darker, but if you want like it to be more darker, we're just gonna adjust it later. So now I'm gonna go to my energy ball layer and then take the eraser tool, slightly increase the size to adjust to my fingers. So I have opacity of 86%, or I can just, no, 86% is alright, and zoom in a bit. And then what I'm gonna do is remove the energy ball, because now the energy ball is like overlapping my base picture. So I'm just gonna slightly remove it right there to make it look like I'm holding the energy ball between the palm of my hands, just to make it look realistic perhaps. I just messed up. I think I should decrease the brush size a bit, like it's too big. What the hell am I doing? Alright, right there, right there. Now this takes a bit of a patience, cause like it takes time, just do it. Okay, so guys, I like slightly removed the not slightly, I removed the energy balls, part of the energy ball which was overlapping my base. So now it looks like I'm holding it, although it does not look that realistic, but what can I say? Let's just go ahead and render it further. Of course, this is just the beginning of like editing our picture. So now what I'm gonna do is go to our base layer and create a new layer, so that the new layer comes upon the base. So let's name it brightness, and you will know why I name it brightness. So I'm gonna take my brush tool, increase the size to like 20, the 226. So I'm just gonna let me just remove this. I'm just gonna brush it over the base layer, and then what I'm gonna do is go to my brightness layer and then click on normal and change it to overlay. So see the difference? Now it gives like a shining kind of look, like the ball of light is emitting energy. So yeah, it looks pretty good now. And then what I'm gonna do is double the mm, brightness. So I'm just gonna click Ctrl plus J, which will duplicate the layer, and it looks a lot brighter now. So what I'm gonna do is now go to my ball of light layer and then change normal to screen. So now when you do this, the ball of light adjusts it, I'm sorry, adjusts its light to its surroundings. So it looks more realistic now, perhaps. Yeah. So now you can see that we have the energy ball inside the hand. So the parts of my hand outside, which is facing away from the energy ball, is shining. So that does not make sense. Let's just go ahead and remove some part of the brightness from my hands. Yeah. Let me just increase the brightness a bit to perhaps remove these areas as well. Yep. Yep, now it looks pretty good. So now let's go ahead and darken the energy ball a bit. So let's go to levels, Control plus L, and then I'm just gonna increase the midtones a bit and the shadows as well. Perhaps, yep, increase the highlights a bit and the shadows. Alright, looks pretty good now. So next thing we're gonna do is like just create this. I'm not that good at explaining things, so for those viewers that are not understanding what I'm saying, I'm like really sorry, but I can't really help it. So what I'm gonna do is just color it this way and then increase the size of the eraser a bit and just brush the corners, and of course increase the opacity to 100%. So now I'm just gonna drag the layer of the new layer just above the base. Let me just render it a bit, and then I'm gonna change blending mode normal to overlay. Yep, overlay. So what happens is now it looks like light is seeping through the gap between my fingers. So that's to make it a bit more realistic. So I'm just going to duplicate it by pressing Ctrl plus Alternate plus T, rotate it and add it here as well. Once again, let's do that. Let's do it with this side as well. Control plus Alternate plus T to duplicate it. So don't like forget that. So I'm just gonna write all the shortcuts I've used in this video in the description, so like you don't really have to worry about forgetting things like that. So yeah, it looks pretty good now. Let's see if we can render it further. I will just create a new layer just above the base. Where is our base? I can't find our base. Oh, it's right there. So I'm just gonna create a layer above the base, and then once again just randomly brush it, and then change to overlay. So now it looks a lot brighter, but this time I'm gonna change the color of the brightness to blue because our energy ball is blue, so there must be some blue light emitting from the that is emitted from the energy ball. I'm just gonna go to blending options, click color overlay, change blending mode to overlay, and then change the color to blue, perhaps a bit. Yep, let's see. I think we should decrease the opacity a bit, like it's too bright. So yeah, yeah, now it looks pretty good. So you can of course like add a lot more stuff to it, make it look a lot more better. So it really depends upon how you create the energy ball of light at first. So this is how you can create an energy ball and add it between your hands. And as always, thanks for watching.